Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video about this bike that I built. This is based on a Commencal Supreme 4.2 frame. This is a 2018 model, so a previous model compared to the current one. And why did I build the bike? Well, first of all, for the experience, for learning about building a bike, and well, there are a lot of details, right, that you get when building a bike from scratch. Also to know the bike in detail. You know, if you build a bike, then you will know exactly all the details about the bike. Now, as you can see, there is a different drivetrain compared to the original one. So this one has 12 speeds, so that's because I wanted a downhill bike with some pedaling capabilities, and obviously this one has a single crown fork. So yeah, that's pretty much the difference, you know, in terms of regular, well, not regular, maybe the stock downhill bike from Commencal. Anyway, so let's start with the frame. So I got this frame on sale. I really like it, but there are two things that I do not like about this frame, and those things are fixed in the new model. So first of all, there is a hole here. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it has foam, so they said like there is this hole and they put foam here so that the mud doesn't come in. But well, the bike is new, so I cannot really comment on whether this foam is going to do a good job or not. But in any case, I mean, this part is welded, right? So why would you leave a hole here? I mean, you can just put some, I mean, weld another part in the center, or I don't know. I don't know, it just seems silly to me that you leave this hole. I mean, if you could do something with this hole, I mean, this hole is blocked by the shock, so you cannot really make it turn it into a storage space or something like that, you know. Maybe if it was like here, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that this part needs to be lower, but while leaving the hole. And those things, and this is fixing the new frame, so this hole is not there. And another thing is that now the chain is in the 11th teeth cock, and there the chain slightly rubs into this part, you know, into the rubber. It's very low and not something that makes me, you know, like cut this part or, you know, like shave it and leave it clean. So it's not necessary, but it happens, you know. I mean, for me it doesn't make any problem. It's not something that is going to slow you down, but it's there. I mean, you could have just made this thing like with a different shape, or I don't know. Well, this thing does not happen in the new frame because the shape is different. Nevertheless, I must say that the design of this frame I like a lot. Also, I got these shocks. This is the Fox DH-X2. This is the 2017 models. It's not the newest one, but it's still a really nice shock. So that's yeah, like what I got for the frame. So moving to the front, of course, yeah, like as I said, this has a single crown fork. So this one is the RockShox SEB. This is the ultimate version. And if you compare it with the bottom range of this bike, which is pretty much the budget that I had to build it, that one comes with the Boxer RC, so the bottom range of the Boxer, and that one is slightly more expensive than this one. So this is the top of the range SEB, slightly cheaper than the bottom of the range Boxer. Of course, the Boxer is much tougher than this, but I think this fork is nice, you know. This fork looks quite sturdy to me, but let's see how long it lasts. As I said, yeah, this is to pedal, maybe not like an enduro bike, but you know, you can still do some pedaling with it. Maybe something also to comment that, well, I don't know if you are experienced or not. Well, I was not experienced, so I did not know that this, well, many of these single crown forks have tapered steerer tube, so it is wider here and thinner here. So the upper part is pretty much normal, the lower part is wider. So I had to buy different headset cup for the bottom to install this fork. Another thing with the fork is that the fork is for 15 millimeters width for the hub, and the hub of the wheel is 20, so I had to use an adapter there, and that's because I got the wheel set for downhill bikes, so I just matched the rear wheel, so the rear wheel fits nice, and I got an adapter for the front. But know that if you are getting a downhill frame, then you do not have that many options in terms of the wheels. And these wheels are the Crank Brothers Opium 3. There are mixed reviews about them. Some people say that they are reliable, some people say that they are not. Well, I cannot really say anything because the bike is pretty new. I have to say that I like the way they look. I don't know, I got them on sale also, so I pretty much got everything on sale. That's a reason why it took me a very long time to build this bike. It took me about 8 months to build it, just chasing sales everywhere. So I got them on like 70% off, so yeah, pretty cheap, you know. I hope I don't regret it, but I like them. They seem sturdy, but yeah, I cannot really comment more than that. So let's see, I will be commenting about them in the future. Maybe also the tires are just the ones that Commencal puts in their enduro bikes. Big Betty in the back, Magic Mary in the front. These ones are wider than the stock tires. These ones are 2.6 inches wide, and the stock ones are not sure if it is like 2.4 or 2.2, but I went for wider tires because I wanted to put a bit of more air pressure in them and still have some grip, you know. So that's what I got. What else? Maybe the brakes. The brakes are a bit interesting because I am mixing sizes here. So I got the Shimano Sei levers and calipers, but the rotors are from Magura. So these rotors are 2 millimeters thick, and the caliper is made to work with a 1.8 millimeters thick rotor. So that's the width of the Shimano rotor. So I have to say that I did not have issues. So the brakes are working perfectly fine, but adjusting this thing takes a bit more time, you know. Like, you have to be patient at the moment of aligning this thing, because yeah, it really takes quite some time, you know. You have to leave it super straight in this case. So and another thing, maybe let me move to the back because I want to comment another thing. The rear brake, the rear rotor is 2.3 millimeters diameter, and the mount for the caliper is 203 millimeters diameter, and the mount for the caliper is 200 millimeters, so 100 from here to here, you know. So I'm mixing those two sizes also. And at the beginning I put washers in this part, so as you can see, put washers here, but I had washers here to lift it a little bit, the 1.5 millimeter missing, but I removed them because I thought this is not necessary. With the washers it was just the pads were at the edge of the rotor, and now they just sit like in the middle of the braking surface. So I thought this is not necessary, this works just fine without the washers, I mean in the bottom. So I just removed them, and yeah, it works perfectly fine. At least with this rotor and these calipers, they have enough room to fit these rotors. So yeah, that's with the brakes. Maybe the crankset, I got it from Rotor. I have to say that it was quite complicated to install. I made a video about this crankset. I like it. It works well, but it is difficult to install. Also, the chainring is a bit smaller than the one that the bottom range of this bike comes with. The bottom range comes with a 36 tooth. This one is a 34, so just slightly smaller to have more range at the top of the gear set. What else? The Drivetrain. So I have to say something because I had an issue. For the Drivetrain, the chain was skipping in the smallest cog. So the smallest cog is an 11 in this case. So this one has a regular hub, not a SRAM XD or a Shimano Microspline. It's just a regular hub, but it was skipping, you know. I looked everywhere. I aligned the rear derailleur several times, you know. I have a race bike and I have done it a lot of times with the race bike. Also with my commuting bike, I have done it a lot of times, and I think I can do it. Maybe there are people that are much better than me, but I think I can do it properly, you know, not professional, but well. So it was not, I just, you know, like I thought, wow, this is just crazy. I just cannot do it, you know. The cassette is obviously from Sunrace, and I thought maybe these things are not compatible. Maybe I bought the derailleur that was for a different type of cassette or the chain or something, you know. So what I did is first I changed what was cheaper, you know, like the chain. I put my road bike chain here, and I put this chain on my road bike, and I tried it with the road bike chain. This thing worked well, not perfectly, but really well, you know, almost perfect. And I put this chain on my race bike, and the same, so it was almost perfect. So I thought, actually with the race bike, this chain worked perfectly, you know, no issues at all, like zero. And I thought, wow, then it must be the cassette, you know, or I don't know, something is going on. But I had a bad feeling about these links. So the links of the chain, these are not the ones that came with it, so I changed them. I put my the links of my race bike here, and it worked almost flawless. So I thought, yeah, okay, just change the links and that's it. So my recommendation is go for just one brand, you know. I think I still think that the cassette, this cassette is not, maybe it is like 95% compatible, but I think if I had a Shimano cassette, it would be flawless, you know. It works almost perfectly, so I can live with the way it works. So but my recommendation is just go for one brand, definitely, because yeah, you don't want to be like looking everywhere what's not working. Anyway, so I went for the Ori. I do not think that the Ori is much worse than I don't know, a higher level gear set, but again, I got everything on sale, so that's why I ended up with all kinds of brands. But anyway, so I would say just go for one brand, and you know, you would be fine. So that's about the Drivetrain. Maybe another thing I got, as you can see, I got a dropper post on this bike. Maybe you're wondering whether there is internal holes for the cable. Well, no. Well, there are holes, but they are not meant for the cable. So this bike is made of aluminum, and when they weld the tubes, they make some little holes in the center, in the middle, to let the gases escape. I'm not sure if that's if they do it always, or that's how it should be done, but in my experience, those little holes are always there. So the cable goes here and goes through that hole, and then it goes up. So it's working perfectly fine, so there is no issue. But it was really complicated to put it there. Yeah, well, it's there. This is the shortest post that I could find. This is nothing special. It's a Trans X with a 120 millimeters travel. And I have to say that it's enough, you know. Maybe it is a bit long, extended. I feel that it is almost as my race bike, you know, in terms of length. When it's at the bottom, I think I have enough room, but it would be nice something that is 1 centimeter shorter overall. I do not need more travel, but if it could be like a bit shorter, it would be great. But the only dropper post that I could find that was shorter than this one was the Fox Transfer, and I was not going to drop 400 euros in a dropper post. So maybe in the future, when dropper posts are shorter and maybe also more reliable, I would be more willing to spend more money or change it. But at the moment it is fine. It is no issues, and yeah, I don't know, I think that's it. I think those are my thoughts. So maybe to conclude, do I recommend building a bike? Well, I would recommend building it if you are patient, you know, because you're going to get issues. I think so, you know. Maybe you won't, but most likely you will, you know. So yeah, if you're patient, if you enjoy, you know, if you enjoy spending time on the bike, yeah, definitely, you know, do it. It's a really nice experience. I like it a lot, but it is a lot of work. I have to say that it is a lot of work. In terms of price, I think personally I went for everything on sale. So I was patient enough to get everything on sale, but it is more expensive. So I spent like 10% more than the price of the bottom range of this bike, and that was my budget. So it was quite okay for me, you know, like going for sales was quite okay, but then you have to wait, you know, you have to spend some time waiting. Yeah, that's about price. And yeah, well, you also need the tools, you know. I already had a lot of tools, but not tools for bikes. So I got tips from YouTube, you know, people that just post, yeah, okay, you can do it like this, you can do it like that, you know, tricks, you know, to avoid buying tools that I was not going to use more than once, you know. So that's another thing. And well, yeah, maybe a question is, would I do it again? No. It's a lot of work. It was fun, it was nice, but you know, it's expensive. I think it is expensive, you know, despite that I spent not that much compared to the bottom range of the bike. I think it is an expensive task. Of course, the bike is going to end up exactly the way you want it, you know, so that's worth it, and you're going to know the bike. But yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't do it again. I would go for a stock bike next time. But anyway, so there's the bike, and I don't know, if you have any comments or questions, just let me know, and thanks for watching.